Hello student, welcome to today's session. Today we are going to discuss the practical number 12 for the class 12 subject Informatic Practices. We have already discussed the 11 practicals in this series. If you didn't watch those practicals, please go and watch those practicals. It will helpful for you to understand the further practicals in a better way, or in this practical also, because we are going to use the pandas directly, and the practicals related to pandas have already been discussed in previous practicals. So please go and watch those. So today we are going to discuss the practical number 12 that is mentioned in the CBSE release list, that is related to importing and exporting the data between the pandas. Specifically we are going to deal with the data frames here, and the CSV file, that is comma separated files. Okay, that is the full form of the CSV. Okay, comma separated value files. Okay, so before we starting this practical, let me clear you what we are going to discuss. First we are going to discuss the problem in detail, and problem, then we are going to discuss the problem program logic using which we can solve this problem. There is nothing in the logic. We need to just know which functions we need to use, and we need to know what are the features available in pandas to read and write the CSV file. That all we are going to discuss in the program logic. Then we are going to write the Python code for that particular problem solving, and then we are going to run the code in Spider editor. I am going to use the Spider editor. You may use any editor of your choice, like Sublime and any other editor you are going to use, ideally, let's suppose. So, and later we are going to demonstrate it with the example. So let's get started without any delay. So I am going to discuss the problem statement first. So what is the problem statement? Problem statement is what it is. Write a Python program to import and export data between pandas and CSV file. So before starting this problem, let me clear you what is the meaning of this import and what is the meaning of this export. Import means read data from file. Technical language is known as import. In general English, import means like taking something from someone. Let's suppose India is importing oil from USA. That means we are taking something from USA to India, means import. Okay, that way you can also understand. Import means reading the data from the file. Is known as import. Okay, and export means writing data to file. From which Python program. Okay, from Python program and read data from file into Python program. So these are the two terms that we are going to use. Export means like India is exporting let's suppose wheat to USA. That means something we are giving to USA. That means export. Okay, so before starting that, you should clearly distinguish between what is import and what is export. Import means reading the data from the file. That will be, in our case today, we are going to read the data from the CSV file. And writing data to file means we are going to write the data into CSV file. So before we start, you should understand what is CSV. Okay, what is CSV? If you know CSV, then only you can understand this program in a better way. So CSV So CSV means comma separated value. The full form may be asked in board exam also. Comma separated value. Okay, what is its meaning? Let's suppose some file a.txt is there. A.txt is there. So its extension will be specifically a.csv. Like for text files, the extension will be .csv, but in case of CSV files, we explicitly mention the extension of the file as .csv. I will show you how can we create it. Let's suppose I have written here. In comma separated value means in between two values there will be a comma. Let's suppose 1 is the roll number, comma, XY is the name, comma, 12 is class, comma, his percentage is 78. Then in next line 2, comma, let's suppose AB his roll name, comma, 11 is class, 76 is percentage. Let's suppose after the let's suppose this is the one line, and next line you need not to put the comma here. It is the end of the line. Okay, you should keep that in mind. Let's suppose 3 comma PQ comma 12 comma 79 in the percentage. Let's suppose this is the file. Okay, and if we save this file with extension .csv, then it will be known as CSV because it has the comma between two values. Let's suppose 1 comma xy comma 12 comma 78. Then in the next line 2 comma ab comma 11 comma 76. So that's why this is known as CSV file. That concept you should know first. Okay, let me show you how can we create a CSV file so that you can get a clear idea. Before writing the program, I am just giving you an idea how can we write the CSV file. Just right click on your desktop and either you can go and search the notepad and open the notepad like this in Windows, and then you will write the CSV file here. For the time being, I am just copying this, so you can write the CSV file like this. Okay, so you can write like this Mohit, okay, then comma, then his class is, let's suppose 12th class, and then his age is, let's suppose 15, then his score is like 78, then let's suppose Neha, his score is her score is like 12th class, her age is like 14, her score is like 86. Okay, this is a sample example. Let's suppose this is Amma, and his class is 11, his age is 13, his percentage is 72. Let's suppose this is, so this is the example. Just open a notepad and write the type the data that you want, but in between the two data you will put a comma. You may have any other separator also. We will go and see that also, because in comma separated value by default the comma will be there. If you want other symbols as a separator, instead of comma you want to use other separator like colon, dollar, any other symbol, then you may use that symbol also. I will show you when you will write the Python program. Then just click on the save button, and you need to save it with some file. Let's suppose students dot csv you need to put, keep this in mind, otherwise your program might not work. .csv you will put, select all files here and just save. So this will be the CSV file. Okay, so this will be CSV file. It is created here. If you will reopen it with the notepad, you can see the entry we have made like this, comma separated. So this is known as CSV file. That concept you should know. Okay, before starting this problem. Okay, now I am going to tell you. Now we already know what is the meaning of import, what is the meaning of export, what is CSV file, how can we create a CSV file. All those things we have know. Now you should know pandas. Pandas you already know. Pandas is a Python library, and that contains certain features or certain data structures like data frame. And in our syllabus, two data structures are there: data frame and series. So using we will be importing the data from the CSV file to the data frame, okay, directly, and we will be exporting data from the data frame to the CSV file. This is the meaning of the practical. So now we will jump into the practical, and two methods you should know before we know. Okay, before we jump into the details. So I'm just going to erase all those things, and we can start this Python course. Before starting Python, I am going to tell you about two important methods that we will be using. One is read CSV and another is to CSV. These are the two important methods that are basically used for reading and writing data into the CSV file. Okay. So which methods we will use? We will use read CSV method. We will use read CSV method like this, read underscore CSV to read the CSV file. Okay. Same way to write the data into the CSV file, we will use the method to underscore CSV. So these are the two important methods you need to know. So this is available on the pandas object, like pd.readCSV, read underscore CSV method can be used to read any existing CSV file, like a.csv file is there, and if you want to read this CSV file, you just import the import pandas hpd. You know how to import pandas. At this moment you should know. I'm going to not discuss about that. pd.read underscore csv, then you will write down the path of the file. Let's suppose this path is available in the C drive, and a.csv is placed into the C drive, then your path will be c:/a.csv, and just you need to do that, and it will return you a data frame object, and you can print this data frame object. Then automatically you will be able to see this data frame, see those entries of the CSV file in a data frame like this. You will be able to see it. Let's suppose there are 4 columns, so it will be having the 3 rows, 4 columns, and 1 XY 12 and 78, and then 2 AB 11 and 76, and 3 PQ and 12 and 79 would be the data in this data frame, and this will be the header. Remember this will be the header, and this will be the data. Okay, this will be known as the column name. Okay, so the column name will be the first row in the CSV file. First line of the CSV file by default will become the column in the data frame. That is the default feature of this read CSV method. If you want to don't want to make this row as a header or as a column of the data frame, then there are certain parameters are available. You can pass the header equals to none argument, and in that case it will not become as a column, it will become as a row or actual data, and the header will become like this 0 1 2 3 in this case if you put the header as a none. And if you put the header names like this like 0, in place of 0 you want to show some like roll number, and in place of 1 you want to write the name, in place of 2 you want to write the class, and place of 3 you want to write the percentage, let's suppose. Okay, for the time being, then in that case you need to instead of header equals null, what you need to do, you need to pass an argument names, and names equals to, and then columns names you will pass here, roll number. Okay, and then second one will be the let's suppose name. Okay, and third one will be the let's suppose class, and fourth one let's suppose percentage. So this way you need to pass a list of column names in this read underscore CSV method, and header equals to none you need to remove, and you need to pass comma names equals to this. In that case your instead of 0 1 2 3 you will see roll number, name, class, and percentage. Okay, so these are certain features are available with this read underscore CSV method itself. We will explore these and demonstrate these all the features. Okay, so first thing you should know, to read the CSV file you need to use the read underscore CSV method or function, you can say. What you need to pass, main important thing you need to pass is the path of the file, as the path of the CSV file. Okay, remember this path should be valid path, otherwise you will get the error. And second thing, if you want additional things, by default the first line of the CSV file will become the your header or column of the data frame, like column index of the data frame. There are two indexes in the data frame, row index and column index. So column index will become the first line of the CSV file. If you want to change that, you can put header equals to none, then your first line will become the first row of the data frame, and 0, 1, 2, 3 will be the column names, your column labels. And if you want the column names instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, then you can pass names equals to roll number, name, class, or percentage, like this. So you can play with this when we will do the demonstration. I will show you all those things. Okay, now next thing is to CSV file. CSV method is basically used to write to create a new CSV file from the data frame. Okay, let's suppose this is the data frame. Let's suppose I am changing color. Let's suppose this is the data frame. Okay, let me show you here. Let's suppose this is the data frame, and you want to create the CSV file using this data frame. Then what you need to do, instead of .read CSV file, what you need to do, data frame object. On data frame object, what you will call df.to_csv, and then here you need to pass the path on which you want to create the CSV file. Let's suppose you want to create the CSV file in the C folder with b.csv name, then you will pass like this, c:/b.clv. That's all you need to do. This method will automatically create a b.csv file using this data frame on the C drive. Okay, so it will be look like this, because rows will be separated by the comma by default. You want to change the separator, then you can use the separator argument. SCP equals to, if you want to change the separator from comma to, let's suppose dollar, then you can pass the separator equals to SCP equals to $a, then the data will be separated with dollar in the b.csv file that will be created newly. Okay, so this is the additional argument that you should know, but in our problem, context is only given how to read the CSV file and how to write into the CSV file. These are the other necessary things that you might know or you might not know, but it is better if you know these features, then you can easily handle the beautifully you can manage this code, or beautifully you can read the CSV and show it into the data frame in a right way. Okay, so this is the program logic, and these are the important methods that we are going to use. So now let's try to discuss the program logic, and then we will move into the Python code. Programming logic means there will be a CSV file, let's suppose students.csv that we have created right before. Okay, .csv, and there will be a Python program. One Python program will be there, or Python program will be there, and this program will read the data from the CSV file that will be using the read_csv method, and the path of the file, let's suppose this file is located into the C folder, then you will write the students.csv like this. That need to do, and it will return a data frame object. And if you want to write, this will be the read. If you want to write into the write the data frame object into the CSV file, then you will use the to_csv method, and here you will pass the path of the file and nothing else. Okay, and here it will be the data frame object .to_csv file, and read CSV method will be called on pandas object. That will be either you can write pandas.read_csv, or you can write pd.read_csv if you have imported the pandas as pd. Okay, so that thing you should know. And now let me move and write the Python program. Okay, so we will be writing the Python program now. So first of all, you need to import the pandas library, import pandas as pd. Okay, that you need to do. let's suppose this is your CSV file. I have created the one CSV file. Let's suppose students.csv is the file, and it contains some, let's suppose a comma 12 comma, let's suppose his age is let's suppose 13 comma percentage is 78. Okay, let's suppose b comma 11 class student, let's suppose 14 is and 76 is a percentage. C comma, let's suppose 12 class student, 14 is age and 89 percentage. Let's suppose this is the CSV file, and this is located into the C folder of the your C drive. Okay, so now how you will read this CSV file? You need to write like this. You need to write data frame equals to pd dot read underscore CSV, then the path of this file will be this will be the path. C colon, I will give you how can you get this path whenever we will see the demonstration. C colon students dot CSV. Okay, and then you need not to pass anything, just close this and you are done. Okay, so this is the basic program that at least you should know. Okay, now your data frame will be printed. Okay, if you print this data frame, you will get the output like this. Okay, I have already told you, you will get the output like this: a 12 13 78, and then b c 11 14 76 and 12 14 89. By default, the first line of the CSV file will become the column name of the data frame, right? And index will be 01, row index will be 01. This kind of data frame it will print. If you don't want this first line as a header or the name of the column, what you simply need to do, you simply need to pass the comma header equals to none. If you pass the header equals to none, then what will happen to this data frame? This data frame will be look like this. Okay, so this is the important thing that you should know. I have already told you. And a b c 12 11 12 13 14 14 and 78 76 and 89. In that, now if you pass the header equals to none, then 0 1 2 3 will be the by default column index. Okay, so this thing you should know. Okay, otherwise the first line of the CSV will become the row or column index of the data frame. Okay, so this is the basic code. Now same way, if let's suppose this is the basic code for reading the CSV file. Okay, now let's suppose you have some data frame. Let's suppose I am roughing this and writing again the another separate Python program for the another problem to write into the CSV file. So first of all, you need to import the pandas. Import pandas hpd you need to do. This is the necessary thing. And let's suppose this is your data frame. Let's suppose we have taken some data frame, and let's suppose it is x y p q a b. Okay, and it is xii xii. Okay, its age, let's suppose 12 14 12, and let's suppose his score is like 76 79 82. Let's suppose this is the, let's suppose, data frame. Okay, it has some header also. Let's suppose this is the header: name, class, age, or name, class, age, and score. Let's suppose score is the column name. Now if you want to write this data frame into some let's suppose CSV file, let's suppose xyz dot CSV file you want to create using this data frame. You can create this data frame in a Python very easily. So for creating this data frame in a Python, what you need to do, you need to use the pd.dataframe method, and you can easily create this data frame using 2D dictionary. Okay, so I am using this 2D dictionary directly here. I am name as a column, and then I will pass this data as a list xy colon pq colon ab. Okay, and then now what you can do, your class, and then you will pass XII, XII, XI, comma XII, okay, like this. And then age you will, this is the only thing that I am doing is creating the data frame. Don't worry, if you don't know how to create the data frame, please go and watch my theory videos in which I have discussed how to create the data frame. On that page, on that video, you can learn how to create the data frame. At this time I am directly creating data frame using the Python code. You should know that at this moment of time, because there are so many practicals we have done on data frame and we have already seen how to create a data frame. Okay, now let's suppose you want to write this data frame on the xyz.csv. In that case, you need to write df dot to underscore csv and then path of the file. Let's suppose you want to create it into the C drive with b.csv name, then you or xyz.csv. Let's suppose you want to write as per our statement. Let's suppose you want to write its name as xyz.csv, then that thing you need to do. Okay, and it will automatically, what it will do, it will create a CSV file for you. Okay, and this CSV file will look like, by default comma will be separated, name, comma class, comma age, comma score. There are so many options available on the CSV files, like changing the separator and all those. You can watch my theory video for that, because in this practical, if I do all those things, then it will be bigger for you and it will be very messy. That's why I am not going to tell you all those things, because we will focus only on this practical in this video. Okay, for more details you can watch my theory class on the CSV file. In that I have already told you in detail. Okay, so AB, XII, 12, 82. This will be the xyz.csv file created by this Python program. Okay, so there will be two, either you can write it into the same file, both the programs, or you can write it into the separate files. It depends on you. Okay, so now we will jump into the go into the spider and we will write this Python code and run this, how it will be creating and reading the CSV files. Okay, so let's try to open this spider editor. And now first I have already shown you how to create the CSV file, and we have already created this CSV file in a notepad, and you can see the CSV file Mohit 12 1578, and this is the CSV file. Now if you want to read the CSV file, first you need to know what is the location of the CSV file. Easily you can know the location of the CSV file, or you need not to open this in Excel, and by default it might be open in Excel. Just go and click on the properties, right click and click on the properties, and here you can see the location of this file. So this is the location of this file. Just copy this location, select it and copy it, and then close it, and now go to the spider editor and write the Python code. Let's suppose import pandas hpd, and then if you want to read this CSV file, and then pd dot, I have already told, read underscore csv method you can use, and pass the path of the file. And in the path of the file, what is the file name? File name you can see students.csv you need to put. So students.csv. in your case the location of the file might be different, keep this in mind. In my case it is like C users admin desktop, and one more thing, you need to put one more backslash after each backslash, because it is a separator. Some backslash problem might be there, because backslash is a special symbol and it has special meaning. That's why we need to put the one more backslash in front of backslash. Okay, otherwise you might get error, and that's all you need to do, and it will return you a data frame object. So just put like data frame equals to like this, and now you can print this data frame and just print and write the df, and you can see this. You run and you might be seeing this data frame here, Mohit 12 15 17, and this become as a header. I have already told you while explaining this problem logic, the first line of the CSV will become the header of this data frame. If you don't want this line as a header, then what you need to do, or header, or you may call it as a column name. It looks like a column name here, okay. And if we, because 0 index and 1 index, so rows are started from there, and first line of the CSV has become the column name, okay. And if you don't want this as a column name, because it is a real data, okay, it is not a header, that's why you may pass the header equals to none here. So what you need to do, you need to pass the comma header equals to none here if you want that this data doesn't appear as a header, okay. Run it, and you can see that the header is now become 0 1 2 3, and this become the row, okay. So this is how you can change the header. By default, if you don't pass header equals to none, then it will, the first line of the CSV file will become as the header of the data frame. And if you want the name of the headers also, then what you can pass, names equals to, let's suppose you want to show Mohit is your name, and 12 and 11 in the class, and you can write this like, this is the age, third column is age, and this is the, let's suppose, score. Then if you pass this list like that, instead of header equals to none, names equals to, if you pass this list of the column names, then the data frame will have the column names like this: name, class, age, and score. So this is the additional thing that you can do at your own, okay. If you know this, then you can do that, okay. Now we have done how to read the CSV file very easily. Now one more thing you need to do is to write into the CSV. This is the basic program. You can play many more options on reading the CSV file also, that are that you may watch my theory class on that, okay. You might have the different options. Now let's suppose we want to create a data frame, and then we want to write it into some CSV file. So for that purpose, what we need to do, we need to create some data frame. So data frame can be created like this. I am writing the another program. Let's not delete that and just comment it out, okay, so that you can get it back after some time. So I am just commented out and creating some data frame. Data frame can be created very easily, and data frame, you should know how to create the data frame. If you don't know, please go and watch my videos on data frame creation. Let's suppose name, and here you need to pass, let's suppose A colon B colon C, okay. So these are the names, and let's suppose you want to have class, then you might have 12th class, let's suppose 11th class and 12th class, 3 student list I am creating, and let's suppose one more score, and this is the, let's suppose, data frame we have. Score, let's suppose he has 89, he has 88, and he has 98, and this is the data frame, and you can print this data frame, and let's see how it looks. It looks like this. So column names are name, class, score, and 0 1 2, and ABC 12 11 12 89 88 98. This data frame we have created. And if you want to write this data frame, pandas data frame, into CSV file, what you need to do, you need to write df.to_csv. This is the method, and you need to pass the file path. Let's suppose on desktop you want to create this file, so just copy the path up to desktop and write the file name. Let's suppose I want to create it with the abc.csv file. You can see that there is no abc.csv file exist on this desktop currently. Now if I run this Python program and execute this Python program, then at the end, after the execution, you will be see this abc.csv on the desktop, and the data will be look like this, abc and etc. So just run it, and now abc.csv should be created. I am able to see this. This is the file that is created. Now you can open it with the notepad and see the data: name, class, score, A, B, C, 12, 11, 12. What we have created in the data frame, same data is also in this CSV file. So this is the way you can write or create a new CSV file from the pandas data frame very easily. And if you want, by default the separator will be the comma, and if you want to change the separator from comma to let's suppose colon, that also you can do. Now run it again and it will be changed from colon to comma. Now see the separator, you will notice the separator. Previously it was you can go back and see the video, and previously it was there comma. Now it's the colon here because we have changed the separator. Okay, so this separator can be changed very easily by passing the SCP argument or directly pass the separator. This way also you can do. Okay, so this is the Python program to write into the CSV file, and this is the Python program to read from the CSV file. So this is your essential Python practical to read the data from the CSV file and write the data into the CSV file. So you can just have a look at this program, and you may try it in your editor, ideally editor or spider editor or any editor, online editor you are following. You may try it on the editor, you can see it very easily. Okay, so if you have any doubt in this video, then please comment on the video and I will get back to you. Thank you so much.